Don't you ever lose heart. Keep the fire burning ablaze. And don't call me crazy, it's just the way I was raised. There's moments like this that I'm gonna miss when I'm dead and gone and I can't.
There you are.
All right.
So you got me?
Yes, I got you.
This is Bob, everyone. And I love the background. Looks good.
You know, you say that every time. It's been there for like a year now, I guess.
I don't remember. Every time I see you, it's like seeing you new. I mean, I recognize you, of course, but. All right. So I just introduced you. I told everybody you do the editing for my podcast. You do other things. But let's talk about you for a second.
Okay.
Long time MxPx fan. When did you first hear of MxPx?
So I used to listen to a lot of rap music. I wasn't ever really into rock when I was younger. And I met my wife now when I was like 16 or so, and she loved you guys. So naturally, I was like, I guess I need to go buy an MxPx CD because I got to get in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that went on for a couple years, and then you released Before Everything and After, and that's when I was hooked.
Cool.
So
Nice. Well, thank you.
chasing girls, man. That's how I got into MxPx.
Me too, Bob. Somebody just commented. Oh, I see who it is. Okay. A pal of mine. So let's talk about Southern Comfort. You're from the South, right? Kinda?
Yeah. Yeah.
South Carolina or North Carolina, was it?
Well, I was born in South Carolina, but I live in North Carolina. But I
North
work in
Carolina.
South Carolina. So I'm
It
in
always
South
throws me
Carolina,
off
North
because,
Carolina every day.
yeah. Oh, you do? You're close.
Yes.
Sorry to talk over you. I didn't mean to. I was saying, like, because of North Carolina has the word North in it, I always think, oh man, that's not the South, but it is the South. It really is.
It's the South.
So what do you guys drink down there for your Southern Comfort?
I'm weird, man. Like, I don't drink beer. And I know that
Okay.
sucks because of everything that you're doing, but every year I go through this phase where I'm like, I really want a beer. So I'll go to some place where you can try like 18 of them at once, and I never find anything. I really like vodka.
Yeah, that's
But
your
it's
thing.
vodka and it's Bud Light here. Like, there's Bud Light everywhere.
So what do you mix vodka with, usually?
So I drink 360. It's peach flavored, and I mix it with cran apple juice. It kind of looks like
Whoa.
this.
Cran apple's not bad. So cranberry's a little too strong for you, a little too much cranberry, so you get the cran apple, mellows it out, or what's the thought process?
It was in my refrigerator, and I tried it, and it was great, so I stuck with it.
Okay, so that's your go-to. No caffeine in that.
No caffeine
See,
at all.
that's the ticket, because I have a lot of trouble when I go out to bars and restaurants ordering drinks, whether they're cocktails or just mixed drinks. I don't drink caffeine anymore. And even if I did drink caffeine, I don't necessarily want caffeine at night. And I know that's definitely opposite. Some people love those Red Bulls and vodka, which I used to do, believe me. But what's this?
Your thing with caffeine, I actually thought about that because I didn't know what we were going to talk about. So I have all these like cards of topics.
Oh,
And
nice.
one of the things I picked was things that comes out of Mike's body.
Okay, what comes out of my body?
So you did this podcast, I think it was like a year or so ago, and you talked about your kidney stone.
Yeah.
And what really stuck with me is you're telling this story that you went to the doctor, right? And you keep going, I told her I didn't have diarrhea. I told her I didn't have diarrhea. And in my mind, I'm like, what happened to Mike? That like when his stomach hurts, he automatically tells the doctor, I didn't crap myself. Like, is that just like your go-to? Or like what happened that you just constantly said that?
You know, I'm trying to think back, and I think I was probably in a lot of pain, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I wanted to give the doctor all the information that she needed to make the right assessment, right? So I think that's probably what I was going with, but also I've had some stomach bug issues years ago, traveling overseas, traveling to South America, traveling to Southeast Asia. I've come home from Southeast Asia more focused on, like, say, a Kuala Lumpur trip that we did. After that trip, 6 months, a year, I was not quite right. I wasn't right. Things were weird. I mean, things weren't terrible. I just went a lot, and and you kind of get through it, and it passes. Whatever it is, that bug that's living inside you passes. But I'm great now. I feel great. I passed that kidney stone. It came out of my wee-wee, and it was like fire, like lightning speed coming out. But I feel good about it. So I don't drink caffeine anymore because of that. And I drink beer. I drink all kinds of liquor, but I drink beer now and again. Usually I'll have one or two, and that's about it. But what is this?
Far too much.
Aldstat. This is Aldstat. Kolsch, I was having this the other night. German beer. All right. So most people, I've been drinking a lot of whiskey lately, being down here in Texas. It's definitely a go-to drink. But man, I don't usually drink as much as I drank the other night in Tulsa. So I was in Tulsa, seeing the Descendants play. Hagfish was there, Ultimate Fake Book, and Radke was there. So, oh my God, it was a great show. Tons of bands I love. Ultimate Fake Book used to tour with MxPx back when it was them. I want to say it was them and Good Charlotte. We did a full national tour, and we had MxPx headline, Good Charlotte supported, and Ultimate Fake Book.
I was at the last show that you did with Good Charlotte. It was in,
you were?
From what I understand, it was in Myrtle Beach, and you guys ran out while they were playing and wrapped them in duct tape.
Yes. End of tour pranks. That's what that was for sure. That place, didn't it have like an alligator pit?
Yep.
Nearby?
So, like, I've played there too. And when you walk out of that room, there's one of the rooms in the top that has like the balcony on it, and you stand out, and you can see all of Alligator Adventure. So like the people feeding the alligators and little kids getting scared and stuff. Yeah, that's the same place.
Creepy. Yeah, that place was fun. So what band did you play with?
I've so much stuff I've done.
Sounds about right.
Obviously none of it's panned out because now I'm telling jokes into a microphone.
So, okay. So you're doing a podcast now. Obviously I know this, but what's the gist? What's your podcast about?
The way that it started was we had twins, premature twins, and me and my wife were just real stressed out. And I'd started listening to this show called Tell 'em Steve Dave. And I looked at my wife one night. I was like, hey, people just talk and record it and put it out there. So I put my iPhone in the middle of the table and just hit the voice memo app. And we had a conversation for like 30 minutes. Sounded like garbage. But it got traction real fast. So I did about 3 episodes. And then I was like, I guess I need to buy some microphones. And it went from there. The local news picked us up. It was really weird how it all started because it started with like a huge bang, and now we're just kind of coasting. Sure.
It's called the Bob and Katie Show. You guys can get it on all the places you find my podcast too. So make sure you guys go check that out. If you like Bob's demeanor and you like what he has to say, pressure's on.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about my podcast is I've done all sorts of different levels of preparing for it. I've done a lot of notes and like looked up Wikipedia and like articles and listened to other podcasts that people have been on. And I've just not done any preparation and just showed up, call, whatever.
That's the best.
Obviously those are 2 different types of podcasts, but I'm just trying to find what I like. And what I kind of like is just talking. But, not everybody's into just talking. People want to learn how to get rich. They want to learn how to be in a band. And so I always try to add in some sort of value to the podcast. So when I'm talking to like Pierre, the latest podcast I have, we're talking about songwriting sessions. We're talking about what it's like to be in bands and to tour and to be creative and what it's like when you're not working all the time, when you're at home, all of these things that you're like, I wonder what that's like. So that's my podcast is I wonder what's that's like type podcast.
It's very difficult what we do because I do it with my wife.
Yeah.
and she already knows everything about me. So like trying to tell somebody and have a conversation about something when they know everything, it makes it real difficult. So we don't talk to each other in the week anymore. I just don't tell her what's going on, and we just wait to record.
You're like, don't tell me. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it on the podcast.
Like
I've
awesome
done that
stuff
as well.
happens, and I'm like, I can't talk to you today. You're just gonna have to go clean something because it's gonna ruin the show. In this instance, I'm more prepared for you than I am for her, because we get like, I think like 200 to 500 downloads a week. It's real small. Like our stuff's real small. But this video you put up just a couple days ago has already had like, I'm back. Already had like 10,000 plays or something. So I'm like, man, I really can't go on here and just like nothing. But some of the people already say that I'm too chill, and I've seen a lot of like Tell 'em Steve Dave ants too. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah. Tell him Steve Dave. I'm somebody else I knew was listening to that. No, Bob, you're good. You're good. What else you got for me? What are some of your topics?
Let's see. I'll read you some stuff here. I was always curious about your most embarrassing song that you have on your phone, because everybody has like that like guilty pleasure song that you listen to. Have you ever talked about that before?
Yeah, I can't really look through my phone right now because I'm looking at it right now. So let me think. Most embarrassing song on my phone. What would I be embarrassed to tell the audience about? What would qualify? What would qualify, people? Give me some comments, and I will answer some questions a little later. One of the questions, let me know. What would be embarrassing? What kind of artist? I don't have UB40, so not that there would be anything wrong with that. Red Red Wine is a jam. Am I right?
That's a good song.
Yeah, probably like some sort of terrible rap or something that I have on my phone. I am
Taylor Swift.
I'm a fan of Kanye West, like of his music. I like what he does. I don't necessarily like what he does in real life, but at the same time, like I just try to like, like when I get like, what is he doing now? Like, what is he? I try to just be like, okay, you know what? I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like I like a few of his songs, and that's fine, and I like plenty of other songs that other people do as well. So that's probably one that some people would say would be embarrassing, like a couple of his songs. But I've got a Justin Bieber song. I bought a Justin Bieber song, and if you can guess which song, I don't know. I'll play your request or something.
I can only slightly name one Justin Bieber song.
All right.
And it was like Baby or something like that with Ludacris. That was the only reason I listened to it, because Ludacris was in it.
I probably heard it, but I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody wants to know, fake tree or real tree? I assume you mean Christmas tree. Right now, last few years, we've had a real tree. A few years before that, for years and years, we had a fake tree. And so I think both. Whatever if you have the means to have a real tree, it's always nicer, and you can dispose of it later. If not, I would just go get a fake tree and call it a day. You can just put it in the attic on the off season, and there you go. Anyway, that's way too much about fake trees and real trees. Now that everybody knows that I've had diarrhea at one point in my life, at some point, where can we go from here?
All right, I want to ask you. You have so many people on your show constantly that are very high stature. Have you ever met anybody and you just like froze up? You kind of fanboyed out a little bit?
I would say Elvis Costello. I didn't freeze up. I talked to him, but I talked about the weather. I was like, so how you enjoying the weather? Right? Like just something like that. And I knew that he was a little under the weather. Speaking of weather, he was a little sick that night. And I know how that can be. I've been sick plenty of times on tour. It's terrible. You're trying to just survive. And so when I met Elvis Costello, I felt like a total fanboy. Absolutely. There's plenty of other guys I've met and girls I've met. Fergie, I didn't fangirl on her or anything. She actually fangirled on us. She was like, like rubbing Yuri's shoulders and stuff. Like, I love MxPx. Like, so.
Her husband at the time, I think they're split up now. I can't remember what his name was. I was in a movie with him called Safe Haven, and
Josh,
this dude,
something.
yeah, something. This guy was like 40 years old at the time, and we were doing this scene with a boat, and he had to run down this dock, and he ran down this dock, man, for like 5 hours, just shooting this scene over and over and over again, and I never seen him sweat or like be out of breath, or that dude's in shape.
Yes, he is. Josh Hummel, I think his name is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
These people.
Well, so what are you doing for movies? What were you doing for movies?
I used to do a bunch of just background acting. Wilmington, where I'm pretty close to Wilmington, North Carolina, there was a big push with the movie industry there. And the taxes were good. That's what was drawing everybody in. And over the past year or so, they've kind of pushed it all out. But I think I've been in quite a few things, just in the background though.
Oh, nice. Okay. What other movies were you in? Can you remember a couple?
We're the Millers. I did.
We're the Millers.
Yeah, We're the Millers. TV
Great movie.
show.
I enjoyed that, by the way.
You
look like you could be in We're the Millers.
I don't really know how to take that.
A little rednecky.
You just automatically assume I'm redneck 'cause I'm from the South. That's messed up, dude.
No, I see you. Sorry,
You see
bro.
like 6 inches of me. What are you talking
Am
about?
I digging?
There
all
was
day.
a show called Under the Dome that I was in. I was extremely excited about that. I was in a fight scene, so I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be the coolest thing I ever did. But it turns out it's not. It was
Really?
16 hours for like a 1:30 shot. Like, it was just brutal.
That's acting. So can you make a living? Somebody wants to know, can you make a living as a background actor?
You absolutely cannot.
No. Yeah. You got to have a side gig, side hustle.
I have a main career that I do, and it's hard to do this kind of stuff too. I make about $27 a month telling jokes, which is it's not bad, I guess.
Could be better. You can go up from there. All right. What kind of jokes you tell? You gonna tell a joke on here? You got anything prepared?
I don't kind of jokes. It's not like that.
Not like stand up. It's just off the cuff.
Yeah, just off the cuff
Stories. You got anything else for me?
When you do shows and practice and stuff, do you ever let friends jam with you, like during sound checks or anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes. Usually for a reason, not usually just like because we're like trying. I don't know. Usually, if somebody's gonna do a guest spot that night or something, they'll come early for sound check. Is that what you meant, or did you mean just like they're not even gonna play it later?
Like a friend, just like, hey, come on, let's do it.
If they asked, yeah, we would do it.
Really? So you just
We were
let a
really
friend?
good friends.
Okay. Follow-up question. Do
Okay.
you consider me a friend?
Yes, sir. Next show you're at, you're doing a song with us at Soundcheck.
Fantastic. Now,
All right.
are you prepared to let any secrets go about your East Coast shows? Because I'm too poor to drive over there.
We'll get to the East Coast in 2019 for sure.
Fantastic.
So we're actually working on a few ideas and a few shows and a few events, and it's happening. So we're
Awesome.
we're wrapping up this year, of course, bringing it home with a holiday song and a Christmas song.
I listened to December just a few minutes ago. It was really good.
Thank you.
What I like about December is that it really, it has like the Christmas theme, but you could listen to it anytime.
Exactly.
It's a good
not
song.
really super Christmassy. Well, Bob, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Yes,
sir.
And thanks for the heads up. Next time we'll talk food. We need snacks. I need you to show us what's in your cupboards, what's in your refrigerator.
The problem with that is when I met you last December in New York, I was 310 pounds. I took a picture in, what is this, Times Square? And when I looked at it, I was basically like, ooh. And I've been on a diet ever since then, man. I've lost close to 70 pounds. I'm not eating anything right now.
Wow. So that's
not that
is
great.
that sustainable? Congratulations, by the way. But is that sustainable, like what you're doing now?
Oh God, no, not at all.
So what's your diet?
We're doing low carb right now, which is
Low carb?
everything, which can be real dangerous if you do it wrong, but really effective if you do it right. But it's not sustainable.
All right. Yeah, I've done that diet years and years ago, like 10 years ago or something. I did Atkins diet, and it works. It really does. It shocks your body. You have cravings, and
It's horrible.
you can eat tons of meat, which is awesome if you eat meat, tons of protein. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I love burritos, so it's really hard for me to stay off the carbs. I've found that just working out keeps the package down, but
We got hit by Hurricane Florence a little bit ago. Before that happened, I was actually running about 3 miles a day. That's a huge part of it.
there you go. Use the bad things in your life for good and make it positive. That's what you're saying, right?
I don't know, man. Grits. That's the big thing in the South.
Grits, yeah, of course. I've eaten grits.
In Texas, the big thing is malto meal. Have you heard of that yet?
I've eaten malto meal. I grew up on malto meal back in the day in Washington.
In Washington? So
But I've never known that to be a thing here in Texas. But of course, I didn't grow up here, so.
That's just what I had some family in Houston, and that's what they eat all the time. Like they moved up here, had never heard of grits before, and he won't touch them. But grits are delicious.
I think if we can get people from Texas eating grits, and we can get some Southerners eating malto meal, we can make the world a happier, safer, better place.
It's always food, man. We'll just get some buses together. I'll take grits down there. You bring malto meal up here, and we'll make it better.
All right. I'm on it, man. I'm here to make the world a better place. If I can do it, I'm going to try. You're with me?
I'm with you. Let's do it.
All right. Thank you. Where can people? Okay, so the Bob and Katie Show it's a podcast. Go check it out if you guys want to hear Bob and his wife talk about what they didn't talk about all week and more. Good times. I've actually been on the show. It's fun. It's fun. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like this without video. All right, I'm going to let you go. What's that?
You talked a lot about how you wipe in that episode. Your bottom.
Wipe?
Yeah, your butt.
I do?
You do. Episode 100. Go check that out.
I don't remember this. It was that fun. It was that fun. All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for stopping by, Bob. After kids, I'm not too worried about talking about butt wipes and all that. Yeah.
That's all you do.
All right. We'll talk soon. Cheers. And thanks for helping me out with my podcast.
Yes, sir.
We are all beautiful, yet deadly afraid. This moment